They got tangled up, and Draymond might have popped him one in the chops. The coaching staff coming down, the security guys are coming down, and they're going to review this. This call and review.
Oh, baby, Tim Roy. It wasn't a slap to the chops. It was one to the face. And now, whether or not it was intentional, you got to be better than that, Draymond Green, as you mentioned after the game that he was trying to sell a foul. We don't need that in that point in time. You need to win a basketball game. We need you on the floor, Day-Day. And for the third time this season, he's been ejected. In 11 of the 23 games, Draymond Green has either been suspended, out due to injury, out due to a personal reason, or ejected from a basketball game. That's not good. And right now, the Golden State Warriors aren't very good after their 6-2 start. They're now 4-11 since that 6-2 start. We've got a Wiggins issue. We've got a Clay issue. We've got a team issue. We have an issue that this team just isn't good, Spinoni. Just isn't good right now.
It's a lot of issues right now. It's still early, but what's the expression you like to use? Yogi Berra is getting late early?
It gets late early out there.
There you go. 10-13 now, 5-7 on the road. And it's just every time it looks like they're turning a corner. Oh, the young guys are looking good. Oh, Pajemski. Oh, we got something here. Oh, Moody. Kaminga's he's soaring. Bonte's looking great. And then you got to go and do that.
You got to go do that. At that point in the basketball game.
It's just every single time you think you're turning a corner with Draymond Green and this team, it just reverts back to the same old, the status quo, if you will. And it's frustrating as a fan because you've made your bed with Draymond Green and you've won titles. We get it all. But it's just, this is what we've come to expect. And when push comes to shove, I just want to ask Warriors fans that continue to defend the antics, the fouling, the lack of, responsibility. This is supposed to be one of your leaders on the team. When you have a team full of young guys and this is the guy that goes out there and does this stuff, like I just, when does enough become enough for you? Because it's tough to watch night in, night out. They're 3 games under 500 and they're 23 games in the season. Like, come on, urgency needs to be there for him, and it's not.
Well, it's not. But 4 straight games on the road in which the Warriors have had a double-digit lead. They've held a double-digit lead, 24 points in Sacramento, 22 against the LA Clippers. Got a 14-point lead against OKC Friday night. We didn't get into that game where they turned the ball over 29 times, which, the Thunder scored 35 points off those 29 turnovers. Could have been 50, but you lose that game, you'll blow it. And then last night, you're rolling, and you start to give up the lead into the second quarter. You get in the third quarter, and you go with a different lineup change, which I think a lot of people were yelling for. You get Andrew Wiggins and Looney coming off the bench in the second half. Kerr goes to Kuminga and Pajemski, which I think is a sign of things to come. Steve Kerr now sticking to his word. Hey, I'm going to play the hot hands. And you know what? The hot hand wasn't Klay Thompson. And you know where he was at the end of the game? He was on the bench, which is very, very appropriate. But for some reason, Draymond Green stills the headlines. As we say good morning to everybody out there, get off the graveyard shift. If you're at work, what is happening? If we're getting ready for work, what is happening? Beauty drivers, BART conductors, everybody, you know who you are. Good morning to everybody out there. We're going to break a little early this segment because Nick Bosa, the reigning defensive player of the year, Spinoni, is joining us in 20 minutes. Nick Bosa is going to be up at 6:30, so you don't want to miss that. Nick Bosa will join us at 6:30. But obviously, the Draymond Green story, it takes precedent. We got some sound with Draymond Green about the situation.
It's just can't wait to hear the excuses this time.
It's just we don't want to hear it anymore. You just don't want to hear it. I mean, he said in this presser that he was trying to sell a foul. Well, why are you trying to sell a foul in that situation? Why?
It was so obvious too. And when you came in, I was like, this reminded me of when Ron Artest didn't know. This was his excuse at the time. Ron Artest, I think it was Meta World Peace, against James Harden, the OKC Thunder, when he elbowed him in the head after he was coming back up the court. He's like, I didn't know he was there. Oh, you didn't know Nurkic's face was right there when you're trying to twist around it and you're just trying to draw a foul? Like, come on, no one's buying that. Did you see the bench reaction when he did this, Bonte?
Oh, yes.
With all the young guys, the Shards.
Right, everybody's just
Trace
blown
Jackson
away.
just did a half-hearted, come on, dude.
We're blown away.
That's a rookie doing that.
We're blown away.
Your own rookie is saying, what the hell are you doing? Like, come on, man.
Big John, you got the Nurkic sound back there? If you got the Nurkic sound, listen to Jusuf Nurkic on Draymond Green in that situation.
What's going on with him, I don't know. Personally, I feel like that brother needed help. I'm glad he not try to choke me, but at the same time, it had nothing to do with basketball, man. Like, I'm just out there trying to play basketball, they're swinging. I think we saw that often, but hope he, whatever he got in his life, he get better.
I mean,
that brother needed help.
He needs help. He needs help. But I don't know if he can get that help. I don't know if help is going to work. I just don't know what you do at this point.
I'm done with helping him.
We've tried all the help.
Tough love at this point.
It's been 12 years now. It's been 12 years, and the track record is getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And Draymond said, I sell calls with my arm, so I was selling the call, and I swung and I unfortunately hit him. That was a pop. It was just like as soon as you saw it, you go, well, that's Draymond Green.
I swung and I unfortunately hit him. That's like me lying to my mom as a kid when I'm fighting with my little brother.
Look at Trace Jackson Davis.
Oh my God! Look at
he's looking up just like, come on, man. Sarge
right there. Wiggins just looking in a daze.
But you know the biggest problem, Spinoni, that's happening here? When you have a situation like this, I talked to a lot of Warrior fans yesterday when I was out, and a lot of Warrior fans are saying it's just tough to watch these guys right now. They've gone from lovable and likable to, boy, get this team off my screen because of some of the antics, because of some of the play. But when Draymond Green's leading the way like this and he's your so-called leader, that cannot happen over and over and over again. How many more times this year are we going to talk about this? And he's got 3 more years left on the deal after it.
I know. I wonder if Vegas has any over-unders on the amount of ejections he'll have the rest of the season, because I'd probably take the over at this point if you said it at 2.5, 3.5. Stephen Curry, by the way, he's starting to feel it too, because the load's starting to go on Steph, and
he's frustrated.
And he's frustrated. He's getting older too. I know he's playing the best basketball of his career, but that's not a recipe for success.
No.
Having to have him have amazing games night in, night out. And it was refreshing to see yesterday the young guys, taking that on and trying to win that game. Hell, it shouldn't have been a game late.
No,
the Suns tried to give it away, but credit to Podziemski, credit to Chris Paul, Moses Moody, Kuminga. They were trying their hardest, and it was all for naught because of their veteran Draymond Green.
So the Warriors are just the second team ever to lose 4 straight road games with the combined margin of defeat in those games being 7 total points or fewer. The other to do this was the Syracuse Nationals back in 1959.
I remember that.
That's a crazy stat for you, Spinoni. I know you do remember that. 4 straight games they've lost on the road in which they've blown a double-digit lead. Now you look at the bench, and the bench was spent. You mentioned that, Podziemski, 16 points yesterday. 20 points yesterday. Sarge, 15. Kuminga, 16. Moody with 12. Chris Paul, 15.